Okay, let's talk about the eye path phenomena. This is really interesting. So we tend to think that when people are looking at something, that they have a certain fixation point, and then they might scan the environment, look for different things. But what happens is when we're looking at something, our eyes aren't steady. They're not like looking at one thing. They're actually darting around. And this happens subconsciously. You and I don't even notice that we're doing it. But this has profound implications for our presentation designs, as we'll see. All right, let's dive into this because it's just fascinating.
People's eyes are always scanning. And this isn't just true today. It's been true throughout time. Let's take a look at what people's eyes are actually doing when they're looking at a visual image. So this is one person looking at a Google search page. And what they do, this is their first eye fixation. That's where they look first, then they look here, then here, then here, and they go all over the place. Now this isn't 25 seconds, this is more like 5 seconds max. Let's look at this. Where are they looking? Well, they're looking where things are. They're not looking very much in the white space. They're looking along the edges, and they sort of clump into some areas. So here's someone looking at Amazon. Where are they looking? They're looking along the edges next to the white space. They're looking at objects. They're looking at key aspects of text. They're not looking very much in the white space itself. Now this is interesting. This is someone looking at a book. The green lines represent where they first looked on the page. And you'll notice they're glancing around the outside, they're sort of taking it all in, and then they get to reading. And as you can imagine, they fixate line by line by line. So this is another way to track people's eye movements. This is called a heat map. Look where this person is looking. They're looking at the baby's face. They're looking along the edge of the text, at the header, at different aspects of the diagram. But they're not very much looking at the white space. But it does appear that the white space enables the text and the objects to pop out. Look to see where people are looking.
So the ramifications for this eye path phenomenon are huge. To help us help our audience to comprehend and to engage, we need to do one big thing. We need to guide their attention.
So how can you guide their attention? You want them to look at certain things on the screen at a particular time. How do you guide it? How do you make sure that they're focused where you want them to focus? Well, we're going to talk about this in some depth. First, I'm going to hint at some things you can do. Then I'm going to give you a self-diagnostic so you can see how you're doing. And then I'm going to go into more depth to give you some powerful practical techniques to guide people's attention, to help them learn.
So what can we do to guide our audience's attention? Well, there's a bunch of things. I'm just going to share a few with you now. You don't need to write these down. We're going to talk about them later. But just to give you a sense of some things. So number one, we can add white space. That's blank space between the objects. That helps the objects pop out, makes them more salient. People are better able to pay attention to them. Number two, we can use fewer objects and words. That makes less distractions. We can avoid using logos and be really careful adding decorative graphics because those can also distract from the main content. We also want to be showing our objects one at a time. And we want to animate those or parts of those or point to parts of those to guide people's attention. Okay, just a few things. Now we're going to go into an exercise, really a self-diagnostic, so you can see how well you're doing in regards to the eye path phenomenon. Then later we'll come back and we'll have a conversation. Now I will warn you that obviously this is not everything you need to do to be a great presenter, but this is foundational. If you're not connecting with your audience at this level, engaging them in this way, the rest doesn't matter. So this is really important stuff. Good luck with the exercise. I'll see you in a few minutes.